Good morning. This is Dr. Rajendra Prasad Maurya, working as Associate Professor of Horticulture. And today I got an opportunity to deliver a lecture on xeriscaping. So, what is xeriscaping or what is xeriscape? So, actually, xeriscape is a word derived from the Greek word xeros, meaning dry, and escape that is that term came from the word landscape. So escape means scene. Escape means scene. So a similar like landscaping, xeriscaping is also beautification of a piece of land by using of xerophytic plants is known as xeriscaping. It is used to describe landscaping with water conservation as a major objective. So we can say in xeriscaping, our main objective is water conservation. So we can say we have limited water resources. And you are well aware about that the water level is going low. Okay. So we don't have sufficient water, or in those areas there is too hot environment and their water availability is very low, or we have so hobby to enjoy the beauty, then we have option to develop the xeriscape. Okay, so in xeriscape our main objective is water conservation. Xeriscape is an attractive sustainable landscape that conserve water. Sustainable landscape that conserve the water. So I mean the if we have limited water resource and we want to develop the landscaping, so we will use the xerophytic plants. Their water requirement is too low, especially cacti and succulents. Then we can enjoy for long time. Okay, so that is the main objective of landscape. How does xeriscaping differs from conventional landscaping? So this is important question. Differentiate between xeriscaping and conventional landscaping. So conventional landscaping, you know the gardens, normal gardens. And what is xeriscaping? So we can say xeriscaping is a type, or we can say xeriscaping is a part of conventional landscape. So in conventional landscape is the broad term. Different types of gardens we can incorporate in the conventional landscape. And xeriscape is a one type of landscape in conventional landscaping. So it is a method of landscaping, not a style of landscaping. So where self-explanatory sentence, this one is the, it is a method of landscaping, not a style. Because in previous lecture we already discussed different styles of gardening. So in that four types: formal style gardening, informal style gardening, wild gardens, and mixed gardens. Okay. So particularly in xeriscaping or xeriscape, no need to use any special style of landscaping or any special style of gardening. So Or if you want, then we can say, we will say this is informal style. Okay. So it groups plants with similar moisture requirement together in watering zones. So I mean, the in conventional landscaping, we can use hydrophytic plants, xerophytic plants, mesophytic plants. Here I would like to explain in broad. So we can say mostly in conventional landscaping, majority of plants are mesophytic. Okay. And in some part, if we want to enjoy the raw gardens, then we can use the cacti and succulents. They are xerophytic in nature. Xerophytic means their water requirement is very low. Or in one part of conventional landscaping, we can create the pond, lake, etc. And we can plant the hydrophytic plants. They are fully submerged of water. So in this one, if we are if you want to develop the jerryscape or jerryscaping, then major thing is how many varieties of plants we are incorporating in jerryscape. So we have to select those varieties or different type of plants. Their moisture requirement almost same. I mean, if you are planting one plant, their moisture requirement is too high. One plant, their moisture requirement is too low. Then it's very difficult, because if those plants their water requirement is too high and you are giving the minimum water, then those plants very difficult to survive. Or if you are giving too much water, then those plants their water requirement is too low, they will decay or rotate. Okay. So for beautification purpose, we can't grow only single variety of plants. So we have to incorporate different varieties. But we should understand what is the moisture requirement of these plants. So we should incorporate similar kind of plants. Okay. And it promotes a greater the use of native plants, thereby increasing the water savings. So instead of the exotic plants, we should give the emphasis on native plants. Native plants can face the any kind of challenge, either moisture, temperature, etc. So native plants can survive well in xeriscape. Okay. And also we can increase the water saving because their water requirement is low. Next, it restricts higher water use plants to increase areas where they will serve a purpose. How does xeriscaping differ from the conventional landscape? So we can say in this one, xeriscaping or xerophytic plants, it could save 25% to 50% water in outdoor water use. So I mean in xeriscaping, from 25 to 50% water we can save, depending on your previous water use habits. Okay. So almost half water we can save. So the initial cost for xeriscape will probably be slightly higher due to cost of plants. So I mean the in xeriscape or xeriscaping, when you develop, so maybe initially you can spend more money, because when we will purchase the plants of xeriscape, then maybe those plants are expensive. So due to the high cost, we can spend more money. But at later phase, we can save money on water as well as maintenance. So the saving in irrigation and maintenance make it cost effective in few years. So once planted, your plants are well established, then minimum requires the minimum irrigation facilities and very low maintenance. So water charges as well as the maintenance charges, you can save your money. So that's why it is very cost effective. How do I get started? So when we will plan or we want to start to develop the xeriscape or xeriscaping, then we must learn the seven principles of xeriscape, understand your own environment. So before we want to plan, we should understand our environment and accordingly we select the plants. Okay. Make a plan based on your environment and the seven principles. Carry out plan in stages. So I mean the once you made your plan, then not necessary you can do the everything same time. So you can plan and you can carry out this in different stages. Okay. The seven principles of Xeriscape: plan and design comprehensively. First principle, plan and design comprehensively. Second, evaluate soil and improve if necessary. Third one, create practical turf areas. Fourth one, use appropriate plants. Fifth one, water efficiently. Sixth one, use organic mulch. And seventh one, maintain appropriately. First one, plan and design comprehensively. Consider the following items in your plan. Existing structure. So when we are planning to develop the Xeriscape or Xeriscape or Xeriscaping. So in that we should consider the existing structures. Second one, we should consider existing vegetation. So any plant that is already planted, already growing in that particular area, we should incorporate in our Xeriscape. Slope. In Xeriscape, slope is very important option. That is required for drainage. Okay. So if we have the natural slope in that, so we should incorporate in that. Or if we don't have slope, then artificially we have to create the slope. Okay. And intended use of sites. So what is your intention to use of that particular site? Decide where things will be. Decide when things will be done. Most landscapes are best done in phases. Evaluate soil and improve if necessary. So we should evaluate the soil that is available in that area where we want to develop the xeriscape. And if necessary, then we should improve that particular soil. As you know, soil is natural resource. On that, we have to develop the landscape. So, for evaluate soil, first thing in that particular area, we are developing. First thing, we have to take the soil samples. After that, we have to analyze visually. If that is considerable, then we have to go to develop. Or if you have any doubt, then we can send that soil sample to soil testing laboratory, and we have to wait for the recommendation of that lab. We will get the all information from soil testing laboratories. And what are the recommendations of soil testing laboratory? Accordingly, we have to improve our soil. So maybe we can improve by adding the organic matter like compost, well rotten farm yard manure, etc. Okay. So this will enhance the root development. I mean, the if that soil have rich organic matter, then when we will plant the xerophytic plants in xeriscape or xeriscaping, so that will enhance the root development. So better chances of establishment of these plants. Water penetration. So I mean, the if soil is rich in organic matter, then water will penetrate deep, or also we can say the water holding capacity will be better. So I mean, the our J-scape will be developed faster and better. So improve the soil before planting and installing an irrigation systems. Create practical turf areas. So the type and location of turf areas should be considered a major design element of the landscape. So turf, what is turf? Turf is a kind of lawn. So in those areas, we are developing the xeriscape. As a background, we should develop the turf because green color grasses will be background. So if we have beautiful turf in our xeriscape or xeriscaping, then planted xerophytic plants like cacti and succulents will give the better appearance, and it will create the nice landscapes. Okay. So consider its purpose and function. So I mean, the if we are developing the beautiful turf in our xeriscape, so two things very important. What is your purpose? And what are the functions of this beautiful turf? So both things we must consider in xeriscape. So the reduction or elimination of high water use turf areas can result in a significant reduction in water use. Okay, so it can reduce the water use efficiency in xeriscape. Use appropriate plants. This is very important in our xeriscape. We must use the appropriate plants, not like you can purchase any plant and you can put in one side. In another visit, you purchase some more plants, you put it in the other part. No, we should plant the flora or plants in our landscape at suitable place and as per the requirement. Okay. So plant selection should be based on the intended use in the landscape. So for example, if you are planting the cacti, so what is your purpose? Why you are planting the cacti in your garden? That is important thing. Okay, then use of more plants with low water needs and native plants will allow the maximum water conservation. So obviously, we already explained in Jerry's cave, we use plants, they are xerophytic in nature. I mean, their water requirement is low. Okay, and also incorporate the native plants because native plants are well established in that particular area. They will flourish well, and these plants can conserve the moisture and very good option of water saving in that particular area. Water efficiently. So if an irrigation system is to be installed, it should be well planned and well managed. If an irrigation system is to be installed, it should be well planned and well managed. So irrigation system means what irrigation system we will install in our Xeriscape. So obviously flood irrigation is no good way to implement in this. Or if we will talk for the sprinkler system, that is not that will also not advisable because wastage of mass water. Okay, and initially when we will develop the Xeriscape, we can use the sprinklers, but for the continuous watering purpose we should go for the option of drip irrigation system. So in drip irrigation system we can save the moisture, we can save the water, and we can maintain the optimum moisture level because in drip irrigation systems water we can apply drop by drop and particularly near the root zone area, not on neck areas. Okay, turf areas should be, so I mean the in turf or lawn areas grasses are planted in shallow root zone and very close. Okay, so their watering plants should be separate. Okay, because in turf water requirement is frequently but light. Okay, or in case of the cacti and succulents is not required too much water. So we should apply the water as per the requirement. So better we can apply water only near the root zone areas. So for that purpose, drip irrigation system is best option. Grow plants with the water needs and water is grouped according to its needs. So we can say we will use the standard term for this, that is water budgeting. So what is the water budgeting? So similar like our conventional landscape, in Xeriscape also. we can plant, and we can plant the available plants in different parts. I mean the in plants, for example, this particular group of plants require more water. So those plants we can plant in separate part. Or some plants their water requirement is moderate. They can plant in different group. And those plants their water requirement is very low. So those plants we can plant in separate. After that, we should irrigate these plants accordingly. So by the provision of this plan, we should save the lot of water, and that is very important, and that is the required for us. Okay, so it is very important in our xeriscape. Then next one is the irrigation needs change with the season and weather. So just you try to understand. For example, now is onsetting monsoon, so rainy season is going to start. So in rainy season, no need to apply water. Yes. Or after that in winter season is very low irrigation requirement. Okay. And if we will talk for the summer season, in summer season is too hot environment. So available moisture is evaporate too fast. So in summer season, watering requirement is too high and we should apply frequently. But like, okay. So we should plan according to weather as well as season. Then even plants used in xeriscape will require supplemental irrigation until they become established. So I mean the even in the orchard, even in the vegetable farm or any agronomical crops. So when we will do the transplanting, in that particular time we need the irrigation frequently until those plants well established. So similar like that in our xeriscape or xeriscaping, at initially we need the frequent watering until those plants well established. Okay. And once those plants are well established and roots penetrate deep, after that is very low water requirement. So we can say the particularly at initially 2 3 years, we need the proper watering and care, maintenance. After that, once plants well established, after that is no major issue. Use organic mulch. So you are know very well about the mulching. So mulchings are two types, inorganic or organic. So mostly inorganic mulch we need for other or horticultural, commercial horticulture purpose. But in case of the xeriscape, organic mulch, use of organic mulch is very important. So first you should understand what is the purpose of mulching. It conserves the soil moisture, it creates the favorable environment, it controls the soil temperature, as well as it add the beauty in xeriscape, also suppress the weed growth. So organic mulch, use of organic mulch in xeriscape minimizes evaporation because necked soil evaporate the moisture too fast. So if you are using the organic mulch, that will control the evaporation. Okay. Reduce weed growth. Already I told you suppress the weed growth. So once you cover the necked soil surface, it does not allow to grow weeds. Slows erosion because you know the xeriscape. Mostly we develop in the sandy soils, or we can say in those areas their water requirement is too low in desert areas. So due to the air of movement, it creates the soil erosion. So if we covered with the organic mulch, so it will conserve your soil, okay, and prevent soil temperature fluctuation or decomposes slowly, adding nutrients to soil. I mean, if we are using the organic mulch like wheat straw, sawdust, grasses, so gradually by increasing the time, this organic mulch will decompose. And after decomposition, it will release the plant nutrients that will available our plants. So this one also plays important role for us. Understand your environment. Yearly normal rainfall is 29.3 inches. Average number of sunny days. So instead of this, you should understand our environment. So in this one, you should get the previous history. What is the average rainfall of this particular area? What are the average sunny days in that particular area? Number of days with maximum temperature. So I mean the out of 365 days, in how many days temperature is too high, or for how long temperature is too low? What is the rainfall duration? And what is the average wind speed? Is too high? I mean the storm conditions, or we can say the average. So if we have the all these information, then we have to select our plants accordingly. So that will be helpful in developing of xeriscape, and it is very important. So before you plan to develop the xeriscape, you should know all these things. These are very important for us. Then you can develop your xeriscape or xeriscaping in better way. Understand your environment. Know your soil type. So I mean the in evaluate soil we already discussed. So normally soils are three types: sandy soil, loamy soil, or clay soil. So you must know what is the soil type in that particular area. Then determine the soil's organic content. Organic content means the how much organic matter available in that particular soil. So in soil testing laboratory, we can do by the determination of organic carbon available in that particular soil. Determine nutrient levels. I mean the that soil is poor in nutrient content, moderate, or we can say that particular soil contains the abundant nutrient. Most of our soils tend to be alkaline rather than acidic. So no doubt, mostly in those areas we develop the xeriscape or xeriscaping. These soils are alkaline in nature, not acidic. Okay. And consider having your soil tested. Okay, so in this one, we can discuss again soil type. I told you either your soil may be sandy, loamy, or clay. In clay soil, particle size is very fine. So we can say during the hot environment, you will see the cracking on that soil. Or during the rainfall, or we can say when that clay soil receive the moisture, is too sticky, muddy. Okay. So we can say water holding capacity is too high. So if you are planting, I mean if you are developing your xeriscape in clay soil, then low chances of developing your plants because water holding capacity is too high. So that's why your plants will be decay or rotted. Root penetration is very hard. Or in opposite direction, if you will go for the sandy soils, problem is due to large particle size, water holding capacity is too low, but root penetration is very good. So we can say for xeriscaping, we can say sandy soil is good, but we can say the water holding capacity is too low. So in that case, we can incorporate the organic matter like compost, well rotten farmyard manure, or any other kinds of organic manure. So they can increase the water holding capacity or they can bind the soil particles together. So in these areas, plants can grow better. And loamy soil is the between range, in between sandy and clay. So in loamy soil also we can grow landscape. Okay, so now we have some multiple choice questions of gyroscaping. So we can discuss these. Okay. Question number one. Gyroscape is word derived from. We have four options. A. Latin. B. Greek. C. French. Or D. English. So in this one is the correct answer is Greek. Question number two. How does gyroscaping How does gyroscaping differ from conventional landscaping? So here also we have four options A, B, C, and D. Can grow high water requirement plants, can grow low water requirement plants, can grow moderate water requirement plants, and D, none of above. So in this one, question number 2, correct answer option B, can grow low water requirement plants. Then question number 3, how much water can save in jaryscaping? In this one also we have four options A, B, C, D. A, 5 to 25%, B, 25 to 50%, C, 50 to 75%, and D, 75 to 90%. So in this question number 3, correct answer option B, 25 to 50%. Question number 4, which one of the following is not a principle of jaryscaping? So in this one also we have four options A, B, C, D. A, plan and design comprehensively. B, use appropriate plants. C, water efficiently. And D, no use of crops. So in this one, based on the 7 principles of jaryscaping, first 3, A, B, and C, are the principles of jaryscaping. But D is not in 7 principles of jaryscaping. So correct answer D, no use of rocks. Question number 5, which one of the following is not use organic mulch? Which one of the following is not use organic mulch? A, minimizes evaporation. B, reduces weed growth. And C, slows erosion. And D, increase surface temperature. So A, yes, organic mulch minimizes evaporation. And B, yes, reduces weed growth and also it slows erosion. But D, no, it never increase surface temperature. It reduce the surface temperature. Okay. So in question number 5, correct answer is option D, increase surface temperature. So I mean in this topic, uh, other than the multiple choice questions, we also have the short questions. Define jaryscaping. Jerry plus escape. Okay. So we can say in this one is the it is the process of developing plants of xerophytic plants for beautification of a garden with jaryscaping. What is water budgeting? So you know the water is limited source and majority of part around the world is water scarce. So in jaryscaping we can make the different parts and according to water requirement we should plant. Okay, like the high water requirement plants, in second part is moderate water requirement, and third part is the water requirement is very low. Okay, so according to we apply water, and this one is the water budgeting. What is ecology? Ecology, just we can say the surrounding environment in landscape.